One of the only topic that I have to address tonight is I want to talk about prostate massage.
Thank God.
So if you think that we can get through everything else we have to do tonight and still address it,
we should maybe cancel D&D
get that out of the way.
Make
Let's lead
room.
with prostate massage, and then we'll bring our guests up.
We're gonna need a lot of time for this. I think.
Are you saying? Do we want the guests on stage for this prostate massage conversation?
well, I guess let's bring up Rob Schrab.
Rob Schrab.
I'm not saying he's the prostate massage of guests or that he's an expert in it.
Rob Schrab.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
We got beard growing Schrab. Always a pleasure.
This is my Logan phase.
Like it. Jealous of its lustrousness.
What phase is Jeff going through? You got a haircut.
Yeah, I'm going through my haircut phase.
You're
a
in
good
a
one.
Guy Pearce
Yes.
phase.
I'm going through my LA Confidential,
Yeah.
like 5 and under phase.
All right. Well, if you're a fan of mine, and you are, one of the things that you know about me is that once in the late 90s, I experimented, having heard about the stimulation of the prostate as a extra option at the country buffet of jerking off. I took a Sharpie pen and put the non-cap end up my rectum while jerking off, which I usually do on my knees anyway. So I was kneeling on a pen and kind of like moving it around, and it did feel a little extra good. And I came the way I usually do through my penis. And then I never. That was the last time I did it, because then I had come and I was kneeling on my bed with a pen up my ass, and I had to pull it out.
Was there a mirror in front of you?
No,
okay.
That's not something that I think would ever add for me to the sexual experience.
Well, I don't think you would put it there on purpose.
There I am. There you are, Airwolf. But so I always thought of it like, okay, guys have assholes.
Yeah.
Women have assholes.
True.
Everyone has an asshole. And that guys, because they're homophobic,
Assholes are Mars, vaginas are Venus, I think.
that guys, because they're homophobic, we just associate. We've been socialized to not be like, what are you doing with my butthole? And then other people would be like, no, there's just as many nerve endings up there as there is in the outside of your dick or the pussy. Yeah. Like whatever. It's all science, and I've been content to be like, yeah, I'm not interested in anal things or anything, but so here I just typed it in, and I don't know why. Because I remember a conversation with a friend of mine.
Me.
That was the first prostate conversation I ever had was with Schrab. So put a pin in that.
I'll put a Sharpie in that.
I remember a writer on one of my Empire's shows going like, well, have you ever had your prostate milked? And I went, no. And he's like, yeah, I did that with so-and-so, his girlfriend. And so they, and then he described this thing, and it was like, you said prostate milked, so I'm just going to support you, and I'll think about it later. So then I Googled it. So your prostate is first of all, women don't have them. Did you know that?
No. Yeah, I did.
Just found that out.
Pretty sure. They don't die
I
of
figured
prostate.
that in my head.
They don't die of prostate cancer.
They never do.
Well, you know what the prostate does, right?
It does. It's the muscle. It's the pump on the aquarium. It puts the pee out. It releases for the pee to come out, and then it pumps your a third of your. It does the whole pumping motion of everything that makes everything go out.
Does that
and
do?
Then it also provides as a gland a third of the total
seminal
ingredients of seminal fluid.
Hell yeah!
So apparently the prostate, but. It builds shit up, but I don't know if these are websites that are just selling
spamware,
anal tools and dressing the whole, because they're all kind of GeoCities looking, and there's like a gif of a nurse like going like, yeah, this is important for you.
Are these sponsored ads that you're reading? Like,
I don't know how I got it. I think I typed prostate milking into Google, and then I started surfing, as the kids call it,
image search
on the reg. And what the people that would, but granted, keep in mind, these are people who are selling you things that you put in your butt. So they want you to put something in your butt. I don't know. They might be on the side of
It's in their best interest that you do
put
that.
something in your
Right.
butt.
Okay.
So they're going to
This thing
say,
is run by big butt stuff.
Big butt stuff.
But
Yeah.
apparently, when I put the Sharpie in my butt, I wasn't doing it right. Because you can go to Reddits where people are talking about the prostate orgasm, like the milky prostate. Like you put something in your butt,
Right.
and you wiggle it around the right way. You like massage the prostate from the inside of your butthole, and eventually you'll have almost to a guy what feels like an involuntary shuddering orgasm.
Right.
That has nothing to do with when you do the other thing.
Yeah.
And
It's like a different thing where you're like, whoa! And there's like an earthquake. And then there's guys on subreddits going like, trust me. Like, I get it. You don't want to put a thing in your butt. But, guys. And I'm 45 years old and I just encountered it.
Should we make podcast history right now?
Well, I think we'll make podcast history next week.
When you said earlier that when you put the Sharpie in your butt,
Sorry.
you said you did it wrong.
Well,
What's the right way to stick a Sharpie in your butt?
Right, that's what I was pushing back against. You did it just fine. Don't worry.
Well, no, I did everything.
As long as you didn't hurt
everyone
yourself.
that does something
Well, you
just fine.
came,
I'm
didn't
saying
you?
that
The Sharpie wasn't designed to milk your prostate.
when guys are talking about putting stuff in their butts, they're not just saying, "Oh, there's a hole there that feels good when you stick stuff in it." That there's also a thing. There's a G spot in there.
But let's not
It's the
rush too
prostate.
quickly past.
You can like rub what?
It's great to put stuff in your butt.
Sure.
Everyone loves it.
It's great to put stuff in your ear too.
You don't
Sometimes
need to
you're not
milk
supposed
nothing to just shove a bunch of
Great
shit
to
up
let
your
your
ass.
cat outside. But you're not supposed
Everyone's
to do
loving
that.
It's great to have a milkshake for dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
What is this,
you might be
Russia?
going through some shit.
I had ice cream and apple pie for breakfast.
Oh boy.
What if that was the end of the podcast? We just actually, it was the first 11
It'd be great
minute
if we
podcast.
had credits to roll.
It's the end of
Rob, are you
podcasting.
lying, or did you really have that?
No, I ate it.
Why would he make that up and then do
No.
that mic drop?
Both. I could like vegan ice cream and vegan cake, both gotten from Whole Foods, where they sell the whole food. Like if you wanted to get 2% of milk, they would just give you the whole milk. If you wanted to get half a sandwich, they would say no. You have to take the whole sandwich. If you wanted to have, like
What if the
like Reese's Pieces? No, they said you have to have the whole Reese. This is Whole Foods. We don't have pieces or halves or 2% of anything here. You want grapes? Sure.
That's the gimmick of the store is that their
It's a
only milk is
whole-
100% milk.
Yeah, it's whole. It's the whole food.
So if let's say I walked into Whole Foods and said I need some half and half. Well,
no, go across the
Tell
street.
you what, you can have 2 gallons of it and
in
you can mix them together.
Yeah, in 1 gallon because we're going to give you
Wait,
the
so
whole
I have
milk.
to take one. I can buy. Can I buy the one half of the one part of it and the other half of the other part of it?
I'll have to talk to my manager.
Yeah. It sounds like
But
what
it's
you're
highly
pitching
unorthodox.
is it's called being a fur trapper. That's what the store would become. It would become a trading post where a guy draped in fur was like, "What do you want? You want a cow udder filled with everything milk has in it before you remove some, or would you like a shoe made out of a log?" Because a shoe is what is that? That's just a pared down log. Your plan is bullshit. Whatever you want, you can't have it. It's not how it works. So they say the prostate is like a plum-sized like growth.
A plum?
Well, not a
big.
growth. You know, think of it. It's like a plum. They say it's like the size of a plum. That if you put something in your butt, like a finger, like your own finger, you can reach up toward your belly button and you can feel something the size of a plum.
I'm sure you could feel all sorts of stuff.
And they say don't rub the middle of it. Don't rub the middle of it.
Don't rub the middle of it?
Rub
hates
each
that.
clove. Rub each like
What, just clove?
hemisphere.
Each clove.
Yeah, like Like, don't rub the middle. The middle hurts more than it does anything.
It's got lobes.
Wow.
The idea is that you get your prostate. It's more than a muscle.
Whoa.
It's like a factory. It's making a third of your cum.
It's mostly a factor. I'm surprised, the way that you know it as this urine pump is very strange to me.
I don't want to use this card, but I grew up in the 80s,
Right,
brother.
yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting. It's always interesting to bump
All we
up
had
against
to
that.
know, all we had to know, Spencer, when I was your age, you know what we had to know? Who
What?
forms the head in Voltron? That's what we had to
Yeah.
know.
Who forms the head in Voltron?
Yeah.
The yellow lion, probably.
No.
Well, whatever. Why don't you shoot up a school?
I thought of it.
All right. Well, why don't the rest of you put it on the comment card?
Okay.
They probably will. No,
All
that's
right.
good.
I was saying that his generation. You can't say that came out of me. I was accusing him of it.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the Christopher Columbus of prostate massage?
Well, so
Dude,
remember
yeah.
you told me
You got to try
that
it.
that when you rub your taint,
You taint, yeah.
it does what? Now I just do it. I've been doing
It's all
it,
just great.
25
It's
years
fun.
of coming, and now my hand goes there because Rob Schrab told me something once.
Please
so I'm just
don't be
always,
thinking about that while
Hell
you're doing
yeah.
it. Oh yeah, Schrab.
I also think of Schraub advice when I'm masturbating.
I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it in.
See, I
much
have
work.
one story about this, but I can't. I feel weird telling it because church is sitting right there. I
Oh,
can't,
don't say it.
Yeah, it's like
She's not listening.
church.
Church, do you want to step outside?
by the-
No, church didn't do it. This is like from when I was 19.
Oh, to be clear, I didn't think the church did it.
Yeah. There was a girl when I was like 22 who got right up in there with her finger and did something. I don't know what she did. I couldn't describe if there was lobes or cloves or whatever the flim flam. But all I know is I came for 3 days like in a laser beam.
Wait, for 3 days?
No,
she probably touched
it was
in the
not like a
middle.
regular pulsing guy orgasm. It was just like it was just
Thanks, Dan.
the Death Star blowing up Alderaan. It was this giant focused beam of orgasm, and
Yeah.
she went up there and found this like magic button up my
Went
butthole.
up there.
well,
And
I
it
never
was-
knew there were different things. Go ahead. Look, you seem exasperated, which is insane.
Yeah, Jeff, you really
It's
that story
insane that
really
you
put
are-
Schraub out.
I was holding my breath for a while and
because
I breathed.
you want to talk.
No, I didn't. I had nothing to say.
All right. Well,
What am I doing wrong, Dan? Dan, how would you
I
want me to
heard
sit
you go-
differently?
Jeff was
Do you
talking
want me
about-
to change the lighting? What am I doing wrong?
I'm
How
with
can
Dan.
I make you happy?
Seemed crazy. You were acting crazy. You were
just trying to
gasping.
balance. Don't even-
No, I'm not even. He was like, I don't know. He was like, this is not how prostate touching should be, and I'm about to explain what it should be.
right.
Once he
Well,
finishes.
okay. Thank you. Then I'm sorry I threw you under the bus and pretended you were a clone.
I'm not a.
Yeah,
I have a
I
mind.
picked up that signal from him too. I thought that
What?
he had something to say about it.
Yeah.
No.
How much stuff have you ever put in your butt?
At the
I
same
don't think
time.
To what effect?
To what effect? Well, I told you
Share
about the
it.
time when the doctor put the thing in my butt when I was asleep,
liked
and
it.
I woke up in the
right.
middle of it.
They were making fun of you. When
No,
you
they
were,
weren't. I pretended to be asleep though.
But it's because they were making fun.
No, I was pretending to.
You
be
heard
as-
him.
Dan, you're misremembering. I pretended to be asleep so I could find out if they were making
right.
fun of me.
And they never did.
They never did. But then somebody sent, like all of us, like, hey, man records on his phone the doctor's making fun of him while he's
Okay, yeah.
asleep.
So
and sticking
three
his thing
Rob
up his
Schraub
butt.
stories back to back. As I was like, this is for the people who haven't just finished listening to 350 episodes in a row. Like, I'm gonna go fast for you guys, but if this is your first time here and you're going,
Pretend there's a snowstorm. and we
why
have to
Rob Schraub?
remember
Here's
it.
the three best Rob Schraub stories in the world.
Clip show.
First one is Schraub. There was a wait. Well, let's start with that one so that people don't think I'm insane. We were just saying like You're leaving me hanging. Okay, all right.
I don't know where we're going.
All right.
You're pointing, and I don't know what that means.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry. But Schrab, so there's this song called Space Oddity. Was that the 80s song? Come in, Major Tom. Are you receiving?
No, that's the different song.
Or no, not Space Oddity. It's the other. It's called like Major Tom or something.
4, 3, 2, 1.
What's that called?
Yeah.
I've told this story before. So there's
good song. I like it.
there's a verse in the song when the astronaut is like he's drifting into space. And he goes, and then they go across the stratosphere. The signal comes in, and this is Major Tom communicating to ground control. He goes, "Give my wife my love, then nothing more." And that's the dramatic point where they lose contact with Major Tom. And Schrab thought that that was Major Tom saying, "Don't fuck my wife."
Yeah.
Give my
wife my love, not yours, Jeremy.
Give my wife my love, and
Nothing
leave
more.
it at that, Kyle.
Nothing more. Just give her the message and take her home, okay?
Yeah.
Don't fucking.
And then there's
the
the Diet Coke one that I told 1,000 times, where the guy on the set of Heat Vision and Jack, Schrab goes, the medical guy is talking to us, and Schrab goes, "God, I'm drinking too much fucking Diet Coke. Like I gotta stop drinking so much Diet Coke." And the medical guy goes, "Yeah, well, it makes your dick soft." And Schrab goes, "Really?" and the guy's like, "Well, yeah, studies show that, yeah, it does. It makes your dick soft, just so you know." And Schrab goes, "So what do you just pour it over it?" Or... And it wasn't. I'm not telling stories about funny jokes. I'm telling stories about the moment, like where it's like, oh shit, he lives in a different fucking world.
You're it up already. He says it makes your dick soft, and I said, you mean like silk?
Yeah, like velvet. Like no, yeah. It said if you just pour it over it, it just become like velvet. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Silk. You're adding velvet and changing the story.
You're right.
Which is softer, you guys think, silk or velvet?
It's fucking silk, man.
I don't know.
Silk.
What was the? But then why did I launch into the? Because there was.
You said you had a third one.
It was a trilogy that you just like. Sorry.
Well,
it's good.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
It's all,
I just think it's funny that after all this time, it turns out if you stick a finger up your ass, you have a different kind of orgasm. That has nothing to do with your other orgasm.
Are you going to explore this at home?
I don't know about that. I'll update my podcast audience as I always have.
Sounds to me that if it was as good as you're claiming to be, you would do it again. You don't know?
No, I'm saying like when I did it with the Sharpie, I didn't do it. I didn't do the thing.
I thought you said you just recently.
No, I didn't do.
No,
I was reading about it.
Go to the pleasure chest in West Hollywood and go into the toy room and talk to the people that work there and say, "Hey, I've heard about this prostate thing for a gentleman. What's the story on that?" And they will walk you into a little chamber of or down an aisle, and they go, "This is the stuff that you or your partner can put up your butthole, and it's going to make you come different."
Jeff, I don't want to cut you off there, but if we're going to talk to anybody about this, we should bring up DeMorge Brown.
DeMorge Brown knows about butt stuff.
Oh, yeah.
DeMorge Brown for the butt stuff segment.
Time to go deep.
First, let's just talk about the world's greatest intros throughout history.
Okay.
Jesus entering on a donkey. Palm Sunday, right?
That was a good intro.
Elvis parachuting into the Rose Bowl.
DeMorge Brown being announced on Harmontown.
In association with anal stimulation.
Darth Vader coming through the door in A New Hope.
DeMorge,
That's all of them.
any booty fun stories for us? Or
only that things that I've heard. That's about it.
What have you heard, DeMorge?
Yeah, that's probably planned.
What's the word?
I'd rather hear what you've heard than because it's only going to get better if you go like, well, I heard a rumor. Good.
I mean, yeah, I have friends, and they it comes up in conversation. talk about it. And I kind of just sit there and go, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then they spill their guts and,
Right.
you know.
Name one gut spilled.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to work like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Just tell us. You don't have to tell us about the. Just
I mean,
tell
it's
us,
a real
tell us
thing.
the-
As
tell
far
us
as
the
I'm concerned, it's a real
craziest-
It's very real.
Craig, tell us the one story that made you go, oh, what, man? When was the last time somebody told you like a butt story that made you go, whoa, what are you talking about, man?
Or just tell any story that made you have that reaction.
All
It, could be,
right.
it doesn't have to be about butt stuff. Like any story that made you go, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right,
Like
I get it.
UConn
I've been
minor
high roaded.
world star sort of thing. There was this story. I think in part was because I was 17. I think when I heard it, but there was a friend of ours whose older brother went to college, and he came back one Thanksgiving, I think, and had a story about these formal dances where the women would, you know, a guy would ask a girl out or a girl would ask a guy out, depending on who was the host of the party. And the idea was you would meet and have wine and cheese and crackers and talk around cocktails and do whatever, and then all hop on a chartered coach to go to a resort somewhere for a big party that involved a dinner with several forks and knives. And
This is a story about butt sex.
This is
it's getting there.
You're
You're doing your job perfectly. This is a classier lead up to a butt fun story than
and the Toastmaster
Well,
comes
I mean,
out.
you brought me up here.
No,
you're doing
See,
everything
Don,
right.
Everyone fucked up but me.
Keep going.
You're
Keep
doing
going.
great.
Keep going.
So this guy tells us a story, and keep in mind he's like probably 19 talking to 17-year-olds, and he's only talking to me and my friend. He kicked everybody else out of the room. He's like, "This happened to me," and this is I don't know. You know, it's just here's a story, and also made my friend almost sign a blood contract not to don't tell mom and dad and that kind of stuff. But he said that he went on a date, asked this girl or was asked by this girl to a formal. And he goes to the formal, he gets a nice suit, goes to the party, talks about a bunch of the idiots there that are like sort of trying to chat him up and see if he has the qualities to work in finance or whatever. Older guys are. They all get in a charter. They go to the thing. The girl's very nice. Conversation is awesome.
It's all right. That's our very tone deaf Foley guy.
Gotcha.
He doesn't have an expansive library, and he doesn't have very good timing.
Am I still going with this?
Yeah, we're two realities deep where people get on a charter, or is it that it doesn't?
Yeah,
you
this
said
is the story
came
the guy
from a
on the
person
boat's
where you
telling.
had to go on a plane to get to the.
No, not a charter plane, a charter bus. These are college students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Start over.
But the way you met
No.
the guy that's telling the story is you were on a plane.
No. I'm his little brother's friend, and he
Okay.
comes back from Thanksgiving to tell us a story.
Okay.
That's all it is.
And he's saying.
And so he's kicked everybody out of the room except us at this party, and he's saying, you know, here's the thing, here's what college is like. That was the funny thing about what he was saying. So he was telling the story, and he just said that he went with this girl. They had a great time at dinner. They both got liquored up. They both decided to leave before the charter was going back. Got a taxi or something to take them back, and she takes him back to his room, and they do what people do. They get down, so to speak. And the guy wakes up the next day at daylight, just as a crack of daylight, and realizes that he's covered in excrement.
What?
His entire body, like everything. There's
Oh boy.
and
not
he doesn't know what to do, so he sort of gently wakes the girl up, and then she sees it. She's, "Oh my God, I have something to tell you, but we got to deal with this first," because everybody else has come back after them. They're the only ones awake at this point, and they go through this sort of like horrific Swiss Family Robinson thing of like taking each piece and figuring out a way to get rid of it. The mattress had to go out. There's all this
man.
stuff.
Wait a minute. So where did they go? They went back to
her
place. Obviously,
Had sex.
roommates.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
it's a non-linear
Roommates
story.
with
The protagonist also doesn't know what you don't know. You're asking questions that he's going to
me.
answer.
But at the time,
no, I'm
I
telling
didn't know.
Schrab to listen right. You gotta listen to the story, right?
It's a non-linear story.
Yeah, it's non-linear.
It was non-linear, and I was confused. I'm sorry.
It's like Memento.
You just interrupted
a non-linear
Guillermo
story.
del Toro to go like, "What? He's a fish." Like, yeah, let him fucking craft his web.
Oh, we know he's a fish.
All right. Well, the bottom line is this: that everything was cool at the end of it, but they had to. She had to tell him after they got everything settled, they left and went for coffee. And
Now I'm lost.
he's.
I have so many questions.
They
Well,
were
they had to clean
America.
up what he woke up in.
Okay, he's doing it to fuck with Schrab.
Whose poop was it? Was it his or somebody else's?
It was
We're
hers.
about to find out it was
Okay,
her.
yeah,
that's
that
right.
was her.
That was like
I'm
we were
reading
one
ahead,
step
I'm
away
sorry.
because she has to tell him that she discovered in high school that she had a natural reaction to specifically what you were talking about, which is that she has this sort of super orgasm, but then her body vents itself. Vents itself. Evacuates itself. I'm sorry.
Maybe should have led with that. Maybe should have said, "Hey, just so you know, don't freak out.
I didn't ask to come up here, man.
But if I come, I might shit all over.
I might
everyone.
shit all over you, the bed, the living room.
There's the Foley
we
guy,
might
right on time.
sleep in it too.
We might have to get rid of a bed.
Demorge, he was saying the girl should have led with that at the time. He wasn't saying you should have led with that.
I was trying to.
He wasn't
but
giving
I
you a
shouldn't have.
note.
So
I'm a terrible person.
he fucked this chick and she pooped the whole everything. She came so hard
At
that
the point where
she came so
fucked
hard
the
that she
shit out of her.
they had sex and immediately went to sleep.
Good night,
Immediately
everybody.
went to sleep.
How do
And
you got to be pretty tired. I mean, I'll say
You gotta
I
be
would have to be
pretty
pretty tired to go to sleep.
Both
When there was
people.
poop everywhere.
Both people.
Both people.
Both people.
This is
Like she
not-
didn't go, "Oh God, I just shat all
that
over
was
his
it.
dick,
No
his
talking.
balls, his stomach, his neck, and his sheets and everything." But I'm
All
just,
right. All right.
I'm just a little
You know-
sleepy. I'm just gonna,
Wow.
nod off right now. Namaste.
Can we at least drop $50 on an actual soundboard or something? Like this. I know. I'm a man of the people. It's just the sounds are they raise more questions than they answer.
Well, it sounds like your complaints are unpopular.
It does.
But
I retract.
But please continue. I mean,
No, it's just like he does this farting one, and I'm like, is someone crinkling a Gatorade bottle? Like, it doesn't sound like fart, and then it's like, I don't know. See, what's this?
it's just a mudslide.
This is a train in a windstorm.
Yeah, his soundboard is 9 muffled crowds and 3 shitty farts.
It's confusing. You want sound effects to answer questions.
And then every 20 presses, he has to watch an ad for a match 3 game.
See, some of those are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
It's just
Well, anyways, men.
That one's a bad
Men
one, too.
only have prostates. Women don't.
right.
And men have, therefore, they have a grape in their butt that if you
plum.
rub it
I
the
thought it
right
was a
way,
plum. What happened?
there's a whole thing. And that's it. I'm content leaving this topic.
That's it.
Wait a minute. What's that procedure that when you a colonic? You know the colonic?
That's a colonic.
Yeah. An enema.
Sundays used to be colonic day for me, and I would get colonics.
All right, take it from there.
And it was, at first, I was trepidatious of it. I was
Sure.
kind of not, I was worried about it because I heard stories about what they do there.
Right.
But when I got there and then they took care of me, it was actually, in hindsight, was pretty good.
Hindsight.
It was all right. In hindsight,
You felt cleaned out. You felt good.
yes, I felt great. People said my eyes were brighter. My
The
attitude-
people at the facility, or
no.
Okay.
People at work were like going, "You look good. What are you doing?"
Okay.
I said,
And you're
"Oh,
like,
I
you
got
look
all
at
the
the camera and
shit
go,
sucked out
"I'll
of my
never
body."
tell.
Yeah, I winked. Except one time, she said, "Okay, whatever you do, maybe 2 days before you come in here, eat something that's like vegetables or something, whatever. But
Eat something hot.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Give me give me a challenge.
And for some reason, I forgot that I had an appointment set up, and I spent like all day eating French fries, chips.
Oh, so she always says, "Don't eat anything."
Bread.
So, okay.
She said eat stuff, but don't eat like.
But don't eat so much shit that I gotta
stuff.
work hard. Don't point a snowblower at the shovel you're at the sidewalk you're hiring me to shovel.
So anyway, halfway through, there's a problem. I know, and I'm getting some blockage, which is hard. No, I mean
it's a turd.
It's something, and anyway, I'm like going, and she's being very cool about it. You know, she's trying to make conversation. She's like, just breathe. You're gonna be okay. It's okay. So, what are you and your wife gonna? You gonna do anything this weekend? How's your dog doing? And I'm like, she's okay. I'm just and I'm like tapping my leg, and I'm going,
right.
I don't know, man. And she's like, just breathe. You're doing fine. Okay, you're leaking a little. You're leaking a lot.
She's telling you that.
Do you need to go? Do you need to go? Do you need to go? And I was like, see if you can breathe through it. You don't have to. And I'm like, I can't. Okay. I'm gonna pull it out.
All right.
Okay. So okay.
Can I pause?
Sure.
A lot of people listening want to know what position you're in.
Oh, I'm laying on my back.
Laying on your back.
Laying on my back.
And
laying on my side.
And there's a tube coming down from.
I start on my side. She puts the tube up my butt. And
there's a tube coming down from like an IV line, but it's a but what do you call it?
Yeah.
Okay,
and then there's a machine with a little window that you can see all the shit you ate like throughout the week going by.
Whoa!
Oh, wait, it comes out a different hose. It's. I mean.
What do you mean comes out a different hose? There's only one hose.
You just said you saw stuff going by, and also she's concerned about leaking. Like, isn't the whole point to leak? Like,
well, it's supposed to like shoot water up your butt, and then for a while, and then it breaks down everything, and then I guess she turns it off and it sucks it out.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, I didn't know that. So so to eat a bunch of French fries is to create a kind of dam of half French fry, half.
It's painful.
Yeah, and also it's like it's palpable that it's like, oh, this isn't going all the way up. It's supposed to go. The water is supposed to go all the way up. They're like, what? There's not supposed to be a gopher in this hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've come to an impasse.
Okay. All right. And she's saying to you when she says, "Are you going to be okay? Do you want me to stop?" She means, "Do you want to go take a shit?"
Yes.
Or she's saying, should I run for cover? Like, should I get behind the glass shield?
Story's not over yet. So anyway,
What's
and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't hold it in.
You're saying to her, or
I'm saying to her, there's only one person in the room.
No, but I thought inner monologue. I didn't know.
Inner monologue. Inner monologue. I thought you said in her monologue.
No!
Like she did stand up while I was.
During her monologue, you're talking? No, I'm sorry. Okay, you're saying out loud. You're going, nurse.
I'm having I can't. Do you need to go? And I go. I think I need to go. And she's like, okay, well, okay, give me a second. Wait a second. Oh boy, you're really leaking. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and she pulls it out. And I walk from the table to the toilet that's across the room and just shit all over her. What? I shit on her, the floor, everywhere. And then while I'm shitting, and she says, "Do you need some time alone?" I said, "Yeah, I think I need some time alone."
I don't understand why she's not more like why her industry isn't more prepared for this. That's what I don't understand.
She told me not to eat French fries, Dan.
That's too much.
She did her job. I screwed up. And she has had a wonderful attitude about it because I was like...
She's like, I mean, but she says you're leaking it sounds like you have a dysfunction about you, not, oh, you've been using your body the way a body should be used. You're leaking. There's a turd halfway down. The water's hitting the turd early. Couldn't she just tie it off?
But there's all this water that's already up in my intestine right now. I mean, she could turn it off, but there's still stuff.
And so
up there.
when she checked in with you and said, "Hey, something's happening. Can we get on the same page here?" And like, if you had said, "No, it's cool. It's fine,"
She would have kept going.
She would have been like, "Okay, I'll just increase the pressure of the hose."
Yeah. I mean, like, what would happen on your average day? There would be moments of, "Oh boy, that's a part. That's a part there. That's an area. That's something we have to deal with." And then I'd be like, and then she would get out Jasmine.
Oh, like there's a clump of grass in there or something.
Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be, and then
Should we get
would
out
go
Jasmine?
through. And then it just, this is the thing. It's like they're getting out all the gunk and crap and shit and awful stuff.
That's what
and
I'm
cleaning
confused
you
by
out.
is how they regard that as force majeure when it happens. There's a turd in this ass. That's the part where I'm like, that's like the United going, "Ladies and gentlemen, again, we do have a full flight. I don't know how it happened."
I
know how it happened. You double booked.
No,
you
no.
work in the airline or ass industry.
All right. This is not.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm on your side.
Okay.
This is about
the
consumer
tube that's
awareness.
up my ass is supposed to suck that out cleanly and efficiently.
What's supposed to suck?
The
out?
tube that's in my butt.
Yeah.
Is it sucking or is it shooting?
It's doing both.
Both,
It's
right?
shooting water up and then sucking it out. You know, because she turns on water for a while and then she goes, "Okay, I'm going to do some suction." And you go, "Oh, what is that? Onions. Oh, it's okay."
Onions.
But then there's some times where it's too much, where I'm like, where it's like, oh man, you know when you're trying to hold in like poop and stuff.
Okay,
and
so
you're-
when she says it's leaking, she means
you're shitting all over
She
my
means-
hands,
she means-
my arm, my blouse.
she means
my
you
knees.
are not being a conduit. You're a broken circuit.
She's regretting some life choices.
She's saying like there's a lot because now I hate to Aykroyd you about this, but the thing going up your ass is a two. It's got two tubes, an ingoing and an
I don't
outgoing.
know.
I think it's a two-way thing.
Like an electrical cable.
It
That's what I'm
giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, like it's completing a circuit. Like it's the whole. I think I feel right about this, and I don't know why.
I'm not exactly sure, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that are listening to the show that will kindly correct me.
I don't think
there were
anybody's
two
still listening to this show.
No. So
We're chugging into the void right now.
So
Except for the best people in America.
she pulls it out. She pulls it out, and it's just like, you know, popping a water balloon, and I'm just like, "Psha!" and I'm doing this, shit all over my hand, the floor. It looks like it, and then she goes, "I'm gonna give you some time alone." Yeah, I think you should. She leaves the time alone, and then she turns on like the ambient music a little louder.
She hits the
John Mayer.
switch on the door.
Yeah.
Oh, what a feeling!
Yeah.
We're dancing on the sea.
Yeah, the music goes up full volume, and of course I'm finishing on the toilet, and after I've washed my hands, the first thing I do is, of course, I have to text AG and go, "I just shit all over this poor woman," and he's writing back, "Oh my God, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, I got this colonic, and I ran it. I ate poorly 2 days before, and it gave me some issues, and I shit all over this woman."
Yeah.
You know, and
I mean, that's the part I'm trying to. It's not that I don't have anything not figured out yet. I'm just sort of trying to wrap my brain around the colonic industry. Where they go, "Come inside. We're going to wash the inside of your butt out. We're gonna.
It's not just
we're gonna
your
do
butt,
it by
it's your
pumping warm
intestine."
water up one side. We're going to suck everything that comes out the other side. So it's like
it's the same tube. It shoots water up.
it's the same tube.
And they can reverse.
Okay.
They can reverse.
Yeah.
Oh, so
because
they're
it's water, it
they're
just-
moving forward. She's got a.
Yeah.
So she's in
I
charge.
think so.
Okay, this is starting to make sense.
I
now.
think so.
She's like Mark Twain, like she's got a mechanism where she's like forward, aft, and like it's like there's soapy water going that way, and then
Yeah.
she's like, "Okay, how you feeling?" And you're like, "Peachy," and she goes, "Cool, rum," and then she's supposed to see a certain amount of coming back, and then what she sees is, a half a pineapple, and she's like, did you have a heavy breakfast? And you're like, no, you told me not to. And she's like, suit yourself, this thing's a lie detector. Vroom! She shoots it up forward, and then you're like, okay, that's not fun. And she brings it backward, and there's like a wedding ring and a wristwatch, and she's like, look, you had brunch.
Yeah.
Say you had brunch. I had brunch. And she's like, go to the bathroom, shit out your shit stuff before I clean your asshole rim.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And she threads it out, and then diarrhea explodes everywhere.
All over the world.
And she's like, and she's like, it's okay. It's fine.
And she kills herself. I never see her again. No,
but she didn't say, she wasn't like, it's okay, it's normal. She wanted to impress upon you.
She's been doing this for a long time. I'm sure I'm not the first time. I'm sure today was not the first time she saw somebody else's shit.
If you ate as in the Stephen Wright bit, like if you ate a box of Oreos before going to the dentist they'd be like, look, come on, you want to meet me halfway? And you'd be like, what do you mean? You're supposed to clean my teeth. They'd be like, you ate a box of Oreos.
I want to get my money's worth.
Yeah. Clean it. You're the expert.
Yeah, they changed the tube.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody gets the same tube, Levy.
Levy asked from the audience, do they change the tube?
Do they change the tube?
Yeah. Even for those of you listening, that's a diarrhea sound number.
Right.
Yeah, that was all that was in my notepad.
I mentioned this like on the another episode, but she made it a point to say there's the nozzle tip, there's like an adult size, and then there's a child size. I like to use the child size on adults because it's not as evasive. It's not as
right.
So it's the size of a small dick.
Why do we think that men in America associate the butthole and things going up it? Like, why is that a normal amount of American? Like, women too are like is it an American butthole thing, or is it a male American gay thing?
I think it's an American male gay thing. I think the worst thing you could ever be in America, for most Americans believe this, is to be a gay man.
And we're told early on that gay men use the butthole.
That's the joke that you're told in
they're like,
yeah,
they don't have vaginas, so they use the butthole.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the beginning of being othered as a kid. You're gay, man, and everybody goes. And
we're also like genuinely ashamed of jerking off. Like kids that you talk to, they're like, there's like different mythologies. Like,
really, are kids still ashamed?
Well, I don't know if they still are.
A guy in my high school had to move towns, and he had to change schools, and like actually the family left town because somebody caught him, like walked up and looked through the window of his house, and he was there masturbating. And his nickname became Jackhammer.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
And he was so shamed and humiliated, he left the goddamn town and
that's for you kids listening. And by kids, I mean 30 and below.
Here's how you get. Here's how you thwart that. If you're a high school masturbator, which if you're in high school, you're masturbating. Don't let people catch you. Just like make them just be in the bay window of your house and just be jerking off and fucking dare them to come up on your lawn.
Yeah, it's a different steeplechase now. Yeah. But the crazy thing is that kid, because there was no internet yet, that kid could look in your drapes, see you jerking off, and then convincingly tell the locker room he was jerking off, and then you'd have to change schools. This isn't about changing times. This is about our attitude about sex and self-exploration and things. This is like how bad it's always been and hasn't really changed, even though nowadays a kid could look in your drapes and see you jerking off. But the difference is, if he didn't have his camera, it'd be your word against his, and it wouldn't matter. It's really about the cringe value of how you look when you jerk off now, because now the kids know everyone jerks off, but how about how vulnerable you are, which is the same thing. You know what I mean?
The other factor on that, though, also is that the parents are different. I mean, the things that you're talking about now were around at a time where now there are kids in that age group who now are adults and have children, and they'd probably socialize them differently.
And sometimes
to
I
think
bet you're
differently.
fucking the kid up by trying to be responsible. Like, who wants your dad sitting on the foot of your bed talking about your dick? Like, it could be that 40% of the
dad?
time when you think you're doing
Depends
it right.
on whose dad it is.
Chris Pratt's dad.
Okay,
Oh man.
then I'm in.
He obviously fucked up.
That
I
would be
mean, look at
cool.
the guy. No, I'm just saying, like, you don't know. You could have the best of intentions. You could have, we don't, because we don't have, we know everything about bee stings that you should know by now until we invent a way to treat bee stings better. We don't know anything about kids going through puberty and like starting to feel how they feel and blah blah blah. We put it off, and it's not even just, I'm gonna say, even though we feel like in America we're hung up about it, like, it's the species, right? It's like the whole fucking species. We don't just go like, oh, by the way, there's a thing in your butt and there's a thing in your balls, and like, no one wants to talk to kids about this shit. Like, when do you can't? When do you talk to, like, you're gonna be like, oh, you're 7 years old, before you care about it, let's talk about your butt and your balls and your dick and your nipples. And like, the kid's like, what are you talking? I want to talk about Spider-Man. But then a year later, that kid could be like, I'm gonna go fucking insane because no one understands what I'm going through because my nipples feel weird. Fucking, what a lost species.
Do women shame each other about masturbation? Is that a girl thing? Church? I've never heard a story of women walking in on another girl masturbating in high school and that being a giant bummer. Is that just a guy thing? You did it together.
Yeah, they learn. I mean, I hear a lot of stories about girls, like, more they practice kissing and stuff, whatever. But I'm not gonna spokesman that. But I do feel like. But I've also heard stories about, like, dudes talking about jerking off, and then one kid in the group of friends will be like, "Yeah, jerk off, it's the best," and then that'll just be the story of how that kid changed that community.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, but you're cool. And he's like, yeah, and I fucking jerk it off all the time. And so do all of you. Bye. And everyone's like, he's right. Like, I've heard those stories. It's kind of like,
Yeah,
not,
like, if word got out in my high school that anybody wore, like, any of the guys that got outed for wearing women's underwear, that guy would have been run out of town. But there was one guy who was a badass, and his dad was like in the mafia. And people were like, so hey man, apparently you wear like women's panties, like silky little like thong panties. He goes, yeah, they're really comfortable. And everyone's like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Like if he backed off on that he would have been tortured.
Yeah.
But he goes, yeah, why don't you?
yeah, I've heard a
And then
couple of
walked
those
away.
stories.
Yeah.
They're called tastemakers. they're called the, yeah. It's like, and I don't know if it's like, we want to talk about like how girls are different from boys. Like, well, but also it's like,
if you
we're
and I
all
in high
insane.
school did a MeUndies ad, we would have been really punished for it. But you and I as adults know what we like. We like to wear the soft undies.